Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching my videos. This is the third series of a PHP video tutorial. In my video tutorial 1, I have given a PHP tutorial introduction, which is covering from introduction to the regular expression, and I have created a video tutorial 2 on PHP forms with the advanced topics including the PHP exceptions. This is the third video in the series of PHP tutorial, and if you want to visit my previous videos, go and visit and understand and then come back to this PHP object oriented programming if you are not familiar with the basics of PHP. So I'm going to talk about PHP, how to write code in object-oriented style in this based on the W3 schools tutorial. So object-oriented programming has several advantages over procedural programming, which is faster and easier to execute, provides a clear structure for programs, helps to keep PHP code don't repeat yourself, and makes the code easier to maintain, modify, and debug, and makes it possible to create full reusable application with less code and shorter development time. So what are the classes and objects? Classes and objects are two main aspects of object-oriented programming. Look at the following illustration. Class, fruit, objects, apple, banana, mango. So fruit is a class and a object. So what you can derive? So an object is an instance of a class. An object is an instance of a class. Okay. So objects will be many, but class will be one. It is like a blueprint. Blueprint, and based on the blueprint, many buildings will be created. Right, like that. It is a blueprint. So many objects can be created, but each object has its own features. Right. For example, apple has its own feature, banana has its own features, and mango has its own features, its own characteristics. Okay. Similarly, car is a class, and objects are Volvo, Audi, and Toyota. So they are all having, it has its own type and model and length and vehicle type, mileage, petrol capacity, and look and feel, and so all those are characteristics of an object. But the class, base class is is a car. Okay, so that is the difference. So a class is the template of objects, and an object is an instance of a class. Okay, so it is a blueprint. Class is a blueprint. It is a template. An object is instance of that particular class. So when the individual objects are created, they inherit all properties and behaviors from a class, but each object will have different values of the for the properties that we already discussed. Okay, so a class is a template for objects, and an object is an instance of class. So remember this. So in an object oriented programming is, let us assume we have a class named fruit. A fruit can have a properties like name, color, weight. You can define variables like name, color. Okay, fruit class is a fruit, and then what is name, color. Function is set name, get name. These are the methods we are actually using. Okay, to get and set the properties. And how do we define the object? We define the object as apple, new fruit, and then banana, new fruit, and then we set the name apple, banana. This is how we are going to. So an object can be, object method can be accessed with the hyphen and greater than symbol. Okay, that is arrow symbol. Right, and you can also use the method to get and set. So currently we have created get and method sets. So that is let us actually run it for your benefit. We have created a class fruit with the, and there are two properties, name and color, and methods we have set name, get name, set color, get color, and we have created an instance and object called fruit, and then we have set the name as set name, and then we have set the color, and we have displayed with the get name and get color, which are returning the string. Okay, so which is actually getting executed. Hope you are following. So this method actually refers to the self object. Okay, so which you can use it in your class. You cannot use that outside. So this method, dollar this method, that means it is referencing to the self object. Okay, so if you want to set any object, right, you can actually, you can reference to the self, and then if you want to verify whether an apple is instances of a fruit, then it will display. Okay, whether it is instance of bool true. Okay, so that is displaying the instance of. Okay, so every object, whenever you are creating in the object oriented programming, you will have a constructor where you can utilize that constructor to initialize the, okay, properties of that particular class, right? So here we are using underscore underscore construct and name. We are assigning this and a name. So color also you can use multiple parameters, and then constructor you can use. You don't have to again call. If you make it fruit and pass the parameters, a constructor will be called, and its corresponding values are set, properties are set, and then you can actually use the method to get that name to return back. Okay. So similarly, you can use two parameters to pass the name and color, two arguments in the constructor. Okay, what is a destructor? Destructor, an object is called to actually remove the allocated memory when object is destroyed. Okay, so you have to use underscore underscore destruct, and then you can actually clean up the activity. You can remove the memory, or you can do some cleanup activity when you are actually exiting from the particular. Okay, you see. So when you are destructing, the object is getting destroyed here if you exit from it. So next, access modifiers. This is also one of the important. Those who are familiar with C++ or Java, you already know that there are access modifiers called public, protected, and private. This property method can be accessed from everywhere. If it is a public, then you can instantiate an object, and then through the object you can access the methods, or if a variable is declared as a property, as a public, you can access it with the public. If it is a protected, then only the derived classes from that class and within the class and derived classes can access. Okay, for a protected. Private means only within that class you can access the properties. Okay, for example, this is a public. By default it is public. Okay, you can access the parameters or properties very easily, right? Public, protected, and private. Then color you cannot access, because you can access only within that particular class or in the derived class. Protected, private, you can only access within this particular class. Okay, so you have to be very careful while using this. Okay, and you can actually go through it. Now let us understand the important concept of inheritance. Inheritance, as I mentioned earlier also, when a class derives from another class, okay, the child class will inherit all the public and protected properties and methods, uh, public and protected properties and methods from the parent class. In addition, it can have its own properties and methods. An inherited class is defined by using the extend keyword. Okay, so class fruit is the class, and then there is a base class right? Where is the base class? Strawberry is the base class, which extends the fruit, okay? And then, oh my god, and extends, it has a public function, and then which has a public property, and which is inheriting, okay? So we are creating all this, okay? This doesn't have any properties. And let us actually verify protected function. So protected function can be called by the child method only, not not by outside, okay? So that you need to understand in the inheritance, okay? You extend this class fruit, and then this is the function, and then this is the message, and as a, so now what is happening, message, and this is intro. So intro is a protected. In the previous chapter, we learned that protected properties or methods can be accessed within the class and by classes derived from that class. So let us look at this. Okay. So in this example, above we see that if we try to call protected intro outside the class, right? We are calling outside. You see, strawberry intro is outside. Okay. You can you can call inside, but you cannot call from outside. That is why error. Okay, so that is the protected. So you can call this underscore intro, then you can call this method, but not outside. Okay, so that is the difference between protected and private. Now overriding inherited methods. So overriding means base class can have a method, and a derived class can also have a method, right? Okay, function has a intro, and this also can have intro. Now if you call this one, only this will actually call, you see. Okay, this one will call, not the parent intro. Okay, that is the derived method. So the final keyword, okay, final keyword can be used to prevent class inheritance or to prevent methods overriding. So if you use the final, then it will not allow to be inherited. Okay, so that is also advantage. If you use this one function intro, it cannot be inherited. Okay, it will give an error. Constants. So constants can be useful if you need to define some constant data within a class. Okay, a class constant is defined inside the class within the const keyword. It cannot be changed once it is declared. Class constants are case, however, it is recommended to name the constants in uppercase. With the access a constant from outside a class by using the class, okay, followed by operator. So how do you can actually use this? It is a constant, it is the same, it is a class, it is not there in the object. Okay, it is not there in the object, it is there in the class, and I can access it with the class name colon colon, but an object doesn't have that value. Okay, that you need to remember. Okay, only it is there in the class. And the abstract class. What are the abstract classes? An abstract class and methods are within the parent class has a named method, but its child to fill out the task. So parent will not have any you know implementation. Only its child need to implement its characteristics. Okay. So it will be defined as abstract public function, and then these methods needs to be implemented by its respect to child. car will introduce its own, Audi will introduce its one, Volvo will introduce its one, and then Citroen will introduce its one. Okay, so that is the abstract, class, and in the derived class you will create the corresponding methods. You will implement the corresponding methods, and when you are instantiating the child object, okay, the corresponding method will be called. Okay, so interfaces. Interfaces allows you to specify what methods a class should implement. Okay. Interfaces makes it easy to verify of a different classes in same way. When one or more classes use the same interface, it is referred to as polymorphism. Okay. For example, interface. This is the interface, right? And these methods are same. Some method 1, some method 2, some method 3. Methods are different. Now, what is the difference between interface and abstract? Interface cannot have properties, while abstract class can have. All interface methods must be public, while abstract methods is a public or protected. All methods in interface are abstract, so that they can be implemented in code, and the abstract keyword is not necessary. Classes can be implemented and interface while inheritance from another class at the same time. So PHP interface, we create that one and then implements this, and then this is the polymorphism for it. It will not have any property, right? It will not have any. So interface implements cat, implements dog. It is an animal, make sound, right? So like that. Okay. Then we will not talk about this. We will ignore. If you want, you can come and static methods. Static methods are called directly without creating instance of an object. So earlier we have created the constants, right? And we are calling that constant with double quote. Similarly, static, you can create a method or you can create variable, and you can call that method directly without instantiating. And if you create a value, and you can actually change that value, and that value is available across the program. Okay, so you can use a public static, and then you can access that method with the colon, double colon. Okay, similarly, static properties, as I mentioned, static properties, they are available and you can use them with the dollar. Constants you have to utilize with the dollar. It is better to keep the constants in the capital letters, so that you will differentiate. But that static value is available in that particular object. Okay, sorry, in that particular class, and you can change it, and then that is available. Okay, so now we are going into the important topic that is called PHP namespaces. Namespaces are qualifiers that solve two different problems. They allow for better organization by grouping classes that work together to perform a task. They allow the same name to be used for more than one class. So in a namespace, you can create multiple classes. They are actually grouped. For example, HTML. HTML has a many classes, so they are all grouped together. Okay, and new HTML slash table or new HTML slash row, like that you can create the instance of an object. Namespace HTML, and use that, and then you can actually use the table with the table, and like that. I'm actually giving a brief. If you want, you come back to this, and then go through the code again. See, iterators is, you know used to, repeat or have any value which you want to be looped through a particular loop using the for each. Iterator also was introduced in PHP 7, and it can be used as a data type for function arguments and function data types. Okay, so you can use this iteratable, right? And then for each of iteratable you can actually walk through it, right? It is a valid you can return that to function also, return type as iteratable, and then you can return that, right? So current key, next to rewind, valid, there are set of functions which are available. You can use, come here and then use this iteratable for your understanding. So that is all about object-oriented programming. Thank you for watching the video, and I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to create another video for MySQL databases, and we will work on the database programming. And to reiterate again, if you want to work on internship with me, and I have many projects available like addrive.com, softdrive.com, couponsnagar.com, couponsnagar.in, netchess, netbase, and I am providing a 1 month internship with 1500 rupees, 3 months internship with 3500, and for each month 3500. This price is limited and it may change, so if you want to start and work with me and then get a industry experience, contact me in send mail in submit@mysys.com, or connect me in LinkedIn with VMR as my handle. Thank you, and if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe and comment.